Yes, sir. So, how are you doing?
Very good. How you
Good,
feeling?
good. I'm good, man. So, what's your name? Introduce yourself.
Hey guys, my name's Mike Marchese. I work with the World Calisthenics Organization as a master trainer. Right now we're developing street sport. That's a methodology for calisthenics, bodyweight training, kind of showing people the right way to approach calisthenics. Certainly trying to take a lot of the trial and error out of the experience, because we find that a lot of people have a hard time figuring out what path to go down, and certainly how to develop a bodyweight program.
Awesome. So, giving them that sense of direction, guiding them, so they could avoid the mistakes, injuries, and all those stuff you don't want to get into.
Trial and error. I think a lot of people that get into calisthenics do it on a very base it on anecdotal experience.
Okay.
Like, all right, their friend said they did it. I did this and it worked out for me, and this got me my planche, and this got my my handstand. And the problem with anecdotal experience, personal experiences, the experiences of your friends, is they can be misguided. We could base that on bro science a little bit, right? And people trying to decide the merit of a particular training program based on one individual's experience, right? And that could be more often than not correlation without causation, right? Like, you think that he got stronger because he did a particular program,
which
but
might not be the case.
yeah, there's a lot of other variables at play. So we try and put all those variables kind of on the table, so people know what works for them, what might not work as well, and let them kind of decide for themselves.
Awesome. That's awesome, for real. So, talking about the structure of a plan.
Yes.
How would you go about creating a plan? So, a beginner, obviously you would want to analyze their performance and whatnot, but how would you go about creating a structured plan for them?
I think you kind of captured something really important, which is the whole assessment, right? We can't figure out where we want to be until we figure out where we're starting.
Yeah.
And that's something where you have to be honest with yourself, kind of leave the ego at the door, because it's so easy to get ahead of yourself and be like, I want to be here, I want to be there, and
we run its course.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of embracing the process. So the best thing you could do is assess your current standing. From a full spectrum of if we look at the fitness assessment as different things that we'd want to take into account: cardiovascular capacity, your strength, okay, whether it's upper body strength, lower body strength, core stability, and then mobility, and skill. So all those factors kind of play into what is fitness to you. Fitness
Individualization.
Exactly. Like, how subjective is the fitness experience for you? What are you trying to get out of your exercise regimen?
Definitely.
Okay. And I say exercise regimen. What I really mean to say is training.
There.
Okay.
There.
So there's a couple different distinctions, and I'm just going to try and push through this and kind of get to my main idea, which is what's your intention?
Yeah.
So this all really captures what's your intention. What are you trying to get good at? And if you want a little bit of everything, and you want to be a well-rounded calisthenic athlete, or just somebody trying to get in the best shape they can, you're going to want to try and capture as much of that spectrum of needs as possible.
That's right.
You need your mobility and flexibility to proceed through the full range of motion for a given exercise. Okay. You need skill, because skill and balance are going to play a role on certain movement patterns that are involving cues, very quick and dynamic movements, handstands and balances and the like. And then simultaneously strength. And strength is going to play a role even in the skill component, because if you don't have the strength and the integrity, the stability to back up a given movement, all the mobility in the world, all the balance in the world isn't gonna. It's kind of irrelevant. Yeah, and so developing that intention, trying to capture those particulars, and understanding that they play a role in they're not they're co-independent. They're very there's a dependence on each one of them kind of built into mechanics. So when we look at that, we kind of realize that we whether we will want to or not, even if I want to be an endurance athlete, I still should try and capture the mobility and the strength.
To some degree, at least.
To a certain extent, absolutely. If I want to get strong, I should still focus on developing maybe a bit of endurance, so I'm not gassed after 15 seconds trying to do my my routine or maybe a freestyle, right?
Exactly.
And then simultaneously
even for static holds, you need to
breathe. That's right. And then also the skill work, right? Because you could be as strong as you like if you haven't developed that proprioceptive capacity, that nervous system development, where you can integrate the strength into a given movement, like a hand balance or any particular holds, then that all kind of goes out the window.
Mind-muscle connection, you're creating that.
That's right, and it's so important, and that's certainly not something where we could skip any steps. It's pay your dues.
Yes.
Yeah.
You setting the foundation, so you want to ensure that you get all that stuff, locked up, and
it's cornerstones, right? So and that's why the basics are so important. So
which people want to skip through all the time.
Everything. Everyone's so eager to be stronger, faster, leaner, and they don't realize that if they embrace the process, which I don't know to you, is kind of the fun part.
It is.
It absolutely is the fun part.
You learn a lot in that process, and you get to understand your body more and how it works, and it does make it easier in the long run to adapt and change up. When you're ready.
When you're ready, and you brought up a really good point. It's getting to know your body, right? It's so easy in the kind of the world we live in to get out of touch with yourself and what we can do with our physical form, right? And I think it's really important for us to not only embrace this process but be present. Fully present. Borrowing from the yogis a little bit, being present is so important because it's having that intention. It's having an understanding of why your body's responding a certain way. It's that your body isn't going to respond the same every day.
Yep.
You're
gonna feel like a beast one day. You're gonna be able to do a 20-second planche hold, and then the next day you're like, man, I can't even hold this.
A handstand.
Exactly.
Yeah. And embracing that whole process and understanding, well, why did I do better today than yesterday? And again, variables. Was it sleep? Was it training? Was it overtraining? Undertraining? So much to think about.